I guess one of the funniest things was one of my early EGSA conferences in Florida. A good friend and I and our wives were driving around just looking at the countryside and what's going on while the golfers were doing their thing and the tennis people were doing their thing. And there was a fishing contest as well. And this fishing contest was supposed to take place in the golf course lakes on the property. And whoever caught the biggest fish and brought it in that evening was going to win the fishing contest. And everybody just scattered and did their own fishing because there were multiple lakes. And we were driving around just sightseeing with our wives, and we saw a seafood market, and we thought about stopping there and seeing what they had. We went in and bought a 5-pound saltwater drum and took it to the meeting that night, and we're going to win the big fish contest until we finally admitted what we did and got laughed off the stage. And later on, when I was going in my first year on the executive committee, we were having an executive committee meeting down in the Keys in Florida, and we had a hard day's meeting, and we all went out for drinks and snacks, and this bar had real special on chicken wings, and if you bought a lot of them, you got a much better price. So I suggested we buy 100, and there were 6 of us. And we had chicken wings left over for days and days. And Glenn Burchett and Herb Doherty still kid me about how many chicken wings I overbought that night and what we had to do with them. Those are I guess, the most amusing things. Oh, they're just the top notch of the cream of the crop, and the top group of people I can ever remember meeting. It seems like we attract a really high-quality group to EGSA.
When did you become a member?
1975, my first convention in Las Vegas.
Did it take you a while to eventually get involved in EGSA, or did you get involved immediately?
Pretty much from the start. I worked on a lot of committees and was chairman of the cogeneration committee, and then, of course, went through the executive committee up to president.
Have you ever met anyone that regretted becoming president?
No, I absolutely have not. I think we all got a life-changing experience out of it. I'm impressed with how much it's grown over the years and how good a job Jelaine Kello is doing as managing director, and that I see nothing but continued growth for it in the future, because there are territories open to more power generation than we have ever touched. One of the main ones is the marine market, and we just have not really pushed the marine market at all. A few of our dealer distributors that have shipyards in their territories sell generator sets to the shipyards, but we haven't made any attempt to train shipyard technicians and crew electricians on vessels, and that market is going to be wide open for our schools. The power generation is going to be on ships of all sizes, more than it ever has been, because we're now doing what's called diesel electric propulsion, and that is diesel generators generating all the power the vessel needs to propel it, instead of having to use direct connected engines to the props with long shafts and transmissions. We can now use generators that can be placed anywhere on the vessel. But it's convenient, where if you're direct driving with a big engine, you have to put the engines pretty much close to the props, and the shafting is a problem. But now we just have to run wires to a motor, and these thrusters are really great. Circulating, they do 360-degree rotations, so it gives a lot more flexibility. But the most important thing is the fact that more and more vessels, particularly the oil industry, has been using diesel-electric propulsion, and that means that we have to have a lot more generators on the vessels than you would normally, because the normal loads are just ship service loads. Now we have to put the whole propulsion as well as the ship service loads. These thrusters rotate 360 degrees, and they're driven by electricity for turning the props as well as rotating them and controlling them.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
No, thanks for the opportunity, and I appreciate the good opportunities we had to come back as past presidents.
It's been an honor meeting you guys, and a pleasure.
Thank you very much.